hands together to welcome Mr. Shashidharan.
I'm given a witness from 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G and 6G. We started from 2G, now we are in 6G. And many of our friends and my good friend Shyam will remember when we started in 2002, the Bharat exhibitions, and we reached last more than 2 decades we have been serving this industry. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to the 3rd edition of Bharat 6G 2025 International Conference and Exhibition. I welcome our chief guest, Sri Dr. Rत2047, Honorable Minister for State Communication, Ministry of Communication, Government of India. Sir, namaskar. The industry good friend, the guest of honor, Sri A. ITS Chairman and Managing Director of Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. Namaskar. Madam Harna Sundarajan, Chairperson BIF and the former Secretary Department of Telecom. She is a Kerala Cadre IAS. Madam, namaskar. Sri N.G. Subramaniam, Chairman Bharat 6G Alliance. Sir, namaskar. Mr. Manish Arora, Executive Director and Chief Executive, 6G Technologies. Welcome, Manish. I welcome the other dignitaries, General Kochil sir, an old good friend from the Signal family. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us today. And Mahesh, the founder and CEO of Tara from US. He was keep on sending mails, saying everything will be all right in the country. I said, don't worry, come over. So he is here with us today, and he is the founder of Tara. And Sanjeev Saxena, the head of technology and solution mobile networks. Sandeep is a face you can always see in our conference. Welcome, Sandeep. And my colleague and good friend, Brigadier Anil Tandul from BIF, who is here with us. As we all know, India is making a significant strides in 6G technology with ambitious plans to lead the global race. The transition to 6G technologies is not just a leap forward in speed and efficiency. It is the foundation for a smarter, more connected and inclusive India, from AI-driven network and edge computing to sustainable connectivity and global collaboration.
And ladies and gentlemen, to set the tone for today's discussions, I am honored to invite a stalwart of India's digital policy and governance, Ms. Aruna Sundarajan, Chairperson, Broadband India Forum, and former Secretary Department of Telecommunications, Government of India. She has been instrumental in shaping India's telecom and digital policy ecosystem.
Dr. Chandrasekhar Pemasani, Honorable Minister of State for Rural Development and Ministry of Communications, industry friends and thought leaders and experts on the dais, distinguished guests in the audience, friends from the media. At the outset, I'm delighted to be here amongst this distinguished gathering, and I am also happy that I am going first, because as Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav once remarked, that to speak after Mr. Pemasani, I think that would require a lot of courage. Fortunately, I don't have to do that, and I will, happy to precede him. In any case, we are really here to listen to him. So my task today is very simple and it's brief. Once again, to extend a very warm welcome on behalf of BIF to all of you. And secondly, to just indicate very broadly the context in which we stand today as we are having this conference on 6G. As we all know, India has become a pivotal player as far as the digital landscape is concerned, because we have not only developed significant capabilities across the value chain, but we have also not merely demonstrated tremendous leadership and prowess in areas like software, but we have also pioneered a new model, a completely new model of digitally driven development that the world is looking at, because this is far more inclusive and it is impactful in terms of making sure that governance and services are available to every Indian. So I just want to step back a little because I had the opportunity to be part of the 5G mission, the 5G roadmap and mission when it was first launched from the Ministry of DOT. And that was significant because for the first time, I think we were setting ourselves an aspirational mission. And for the first time, saying that India will aspire to lead and India will not be a mere follower. We now have 4 challenges before us as we look towards 6G. I'll very briefly mention them. The first one is clearly that our aspirations are really significant in Make in India. And that is because, one, we have already demonstrated that in terms of cutting-edge electronics, software and hardware, India has acquired capability. We have already shown what is possible in terms of mobile phones and other areas of electronics. And in the telecom arena as well, this story is beginning to unfold. So clearly, there needs to be a huge thrust on Make in India in the telecom arena, and I'm sure that the Minister will outline the framework for that.
Distinguished guests, it's a privilege to address you today. India's vision beyond 5G. We gather not merely to reflect on the present, but to shape the digital identity of our nation and the world. Yes, 5G is being rolled out globally already. So why look beyond it now? Because in technology, leadership doesn't come from following trends, it comes from setting them. India stands at a defining crossroads. We are home to over 1 billion digital citizens, the world's fastest growing developer base, and a startup ecosystem with a global ambition. We have shown what is possible with 4G scale and cost-effective and fast 5G deployment. Now is the time to leap forward, to lead in innovation, research, intellectual property, and global standard setting. So what is beyond 5G? What is 6G? 5G and beyond is not just about speed, it's about transformation. From connecting people to enabling autonomous systems, immersive experiences, and real-time intelligence. We're talking about ultra-low latency for mission-critical services, massive IoT at national scale, industry-specific network slices, AI at the network edge, and seamless integration from cloud to ground.
1901, Marconi actually sent a transatlantic signal for the first time, and that was the beginning of wireless. The signal was a letter S, Morse code, 3 dots. And this is the point which is the easternmost point of North American continent, almost 3,500 kilometers away across the Atlantic to the British Islands, and that was the distance it carried. And we have actually moved a long way from those 125 years. In fact, if you go back 45, 50 years, in 80s, you can see when the first wave of connectivity on wireless hit the world. We were 10 years late. We were not part of this. We actually came on the second part of the slide. But it was voice, it was 1G, it was connectivity, but more importantly, it actually tried to fit the physical or physiological requirement of communication, connecting person A to person B, and that is where it all started. 10 years later, 2G came in, India got into the big telecom bandwagon. Ma'am alluded to that, how fast we've grown from that time in last 20-25 years. issues like safety and security and issues like transmitting personal information, not only text but also pictures came into. 4G took it to a totally different generation. 4G actually took it to a capability where video became the mainstay of the communication. In fact, even today, since 4G came, even today, 75 to 78% of the data that gets transmitted in the world is video. It is in the form of the movies which we stream, it is in the form of user-generated content which we upload, it is in the form of video calls which we do with each other, Teams meetings, Zoom calls we do with each other, 75 to 78% video. So 1G connected us, 2G brought it to text, 3G made it pictures, 4G made it video. 5G took it to a totally different standard. 5G empowered each one of us, and we're talking about self-optimizing networks, we're talking about personalized communication, we're talking about network slices, we're talking about private 5G. In fact, like the world agrees, we are right now at the midpoint of our 5G journey. This is just the interval. The second half, which is 5G 2.0, is about to come, and in the next 4-5 years before 6G hits us, we will actually see a totally different turnaround in the way 5G is getting consumed. It will move from a primarily B2C kind of communication pedestal to a more life-changing, and again, I think we talked about hospitals, we talked about agriculture, we talked about education. The deepness in which, the pervasiveness in which it is going to go is going to fundamentally change the way the next generation is going to hit us. And that is 6G. 6G is kind of fluid at this point of time. The lucidity around standards, the lucidity around frequency bands, the lucidity around services. We have this, as an industry, this habit of calling the next generation the solution for all evils. And as we get closer to next generation, we try and realize, we finally get to realize that yes, it has its own set of challenges, right from the infrastructure requirement to device requirement to the distribution of compute over the edge and things like that.
I think I'm glad to be around for the third, Shashi, if I'm correct, with friend, the third 6G conference we are having from where we have started. Friends, I think we have come a long way. All this last 2 years, I have been also closely working on what India should do on its standard front. Because, a few countries have did a lot. First starting with the US, very interesting program of Pentagon X program. I don't know how many of you have. They're trying to see how 6G they can effectively use in real warfare. Network sensing, reflective intelligence surfaces. All the nitty-gritties of each of this technology, including, as you were mentioning about antennas, we also given some of the institutions to do fluid cells. It's a new type of antennas coming in. And close to 250 crores around the government of India has been spending on this research program. And then I'm glad to say some of these institutions are really gone far ahead. We are one of the real leaders in the RIS.
Let's put our hands together to welcome Honorable Chief Guest for the Chief Guest.
Thank you. Distinguished and accomplished leaders, guests, and ladies and gentlemen, namaste and warm welcome to all of you for Bharat 6G conference. Today we stand at the threshold of another technological revolution that will shape humanity's future. As India continues its journey toward becoming a global technology leader, our path forward with 6G technology will define our nation's prosperity for decades to come. Under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, we have witnessed 5G revolution. India achieved one of the fastest 5G rollouts globally, deploying more than 470,000 BTS across the country in just over 2 years. We expanded 5G coverage to over 80% of our population, bringing high-speed internet to previously underserved rural communities. Through the Make in India initiative, we developed domestic 4G and 5G equipment manufacturing capabilities, and India has established the lowest 5G data rates globally,
while maintaining quality service, democratizing digital access for all citizens. So all these remarkable achievements aren't a mere coincidence. It is the direct outcome of visionary policies led by Modi ji, strategic governance by our Department of Telecom, and robust industry participation, and the boundless aspirations of our nation. However, 5G do have some limitations. The current 5G networks consume significantly higher power, challenging our sustainability goals. Though we have reached 80% of the rural population, still 20% need to be reached. While improved from 4G, current latency levels still limit the real-time applications, whether it is in robotic surgery, autonomous vehicles, and industrial automation. As Raviji has said, spectrum limitation is an issue for an exponential growth in data usage. And as this connectivity increases, the security threats have also increased. So therefore, the 6G presents not merely an incremental improvement, but a fundamentally transformation in how we connect. So as others have said, 6G will utilize terahertz frequency bands, enabling data rates up to 1 terabit per second, which is 100 times faster than 5G. We will achieve sub-millisecond latency, making truly real-time applications work across distances. 6G networks will be highly intelligent. They will be self-optimizing, self-healing, and capable of predictive resource allocation through integrated AI. And if developed properly, moving beyond surface networks, hopefully 6G will enable true three-dimensional connectivity, extending from underwater to aerospace, giving a volumetric connectivity. 6G systems will incorporate ambient energy harvesting, potentially creating self-sustaining network nodes. The network itself will become a massive distributed sensor, creating new possibilities for environmental monitoring and public safety. So therefore, given these advantages, nations that develop 6G standards and intellectual property will shape the digital landscape for decades to come. 6G will create entirely new industries and revolutionize existing ones, potentially adding $1 trillion to India's economy by 2035. Indigenous 6G development will also ensure that our secure communications are developed within India and secure. And by pioneering 6G, India can transition from being a technology consumer to becoming a technology standard setter. So on March 23rd, 2023, our Honorable Prime Minister unveiled the Bharat 6G vision, a clarion call for India to lead the design, development and deployment of 6G technologies by 2030. And I am proud to report that Bharat 6G mission has already made significant strides by bringing together academic institutions, industry leaders and research organizations. Over 111 research projects have been funded with a sanction amount of 300 crores. And India now ranks among the top 6 nations globally in 6G patent filings. The IIT 6G testbed has successfully demonstrated several breakthrough technologies in quantum communications and AI native networking. And India has signed 6G research cooperation agreements with Japan, Singapore, and Finland, creating valuable knowledge sharing pathways. And our regulatory framework is being aligned with international best practices, ITU, 3GPP, and so forth. And the Department of Communications is already working on comprehensive spectrum planning for terahertz bands critical for 6G. And Subramanian ji just told me we're also working on recyclable, energy efficient chipsets developed by our innovative people. Despite of all this success, of course 6G has its own challenges, predominantly technical complexity of terahertz communications and AI integration. And as everyone has said, we must ensure this would not cost so much money that doesn't help the rural communities. And most importantly, this 6G initiative, we have all the industry experts. And you look at telecom as an overall, and we have the largest markets. All the private players, they have been established for almost 20 years. We have wide open markets to raise money. Most of these companies are quite profitable. They have had ample time to build their ecosystem. And we have vast amount of talent pool. And we have enough time. So there is no reason for us not to lead in 6G. India missed leadership opportunities in previous generation technologies, as you all know. 2G, 3G, 4G were technology adopters. 5G, we became fast followers. But with 6G, we have this greatest opportunity, indeed a responsibility, especially for South-South and geopolitical security. So to our young innovators, I say the future of 6G is in your hands. Your ideas, your creativity, and your passion will shape a connected India that leads the world. Let us commit today by all the stakeholders for making Bharat 6G not just a technology initiative but a national mission, one that will secure India's place as a Vishwa Guru in the coming technological era. Together, we will build a 6G ecosystem that is made in India but made for the world, secure by design, and transformative in impact. And the entire government of India, from Modi ji and my cabinet minister, who works tirelessly for improving the technology in India, and myself, we're all available for whatever the problems that you have, whatever the solutions that you are requesting. Please feel free to come to our office. Monday to Friday, typically I am available from 9:30 to evening 6. We will listen, we will solve, and we will bring all the stakeholders together. So because this mission should not be just like any other mission, but it should be a transformative mission. And I pledge and I promise we will do our level best. And I hope and I wish the future of connectivity will be written in India. Thank you. It's a huge success, right? 80% of the people have, if they have the phone that's compatible, they can latch onto it, right? Not many countries have that kind of high quality 5G. So, I mean, small challenges are inherent to the technology. For example, the data usage has been so high, the available spectrum is limited. So that is an inherent limitation. But other than that, 5G is hugely successful, and obviously 6G will be, it's a completely different network, I would say. So it's 100 times more powerful. Latency will be much smaller, sub-millisecond, and it will be a transformative. So compared to 5G, and it has a lot of AI inbuilt in it. So definitely, will it be viable for the private people? That's a different story. But in general, every new innovation always have early adopters of 10-20%, and the rest of them will follow. You can create every village as a 5G Wi-Fi network. That's a beautiful application. So people may not have started using it, right? But definitely, I think 6G will be 4G to 5G, even though there is a leap, it's not a monumental leap. Whereas 6G will be a completely monumental leap. So I'm pretty sure by that time, since we have more time, I'm pretty sure there will be a lot more applications.